What's going on, people, and welcome back to another FPL video for game week 19, just finalised. Wolves 2-0 winners against Chelsea to finish off game week 18, and I've done worse than last week. Unfortunately, I got 53 last week, and as you can see, I finished with 33 this week. Not a great week for me. A lot of low scores. Yeah, I always look to do better than the previous week, and this week 20 off of last week, so not great. Frustrating week, an unfortunate time at Christmas, but the beauty of it is there is a lot of football to be played over the Christmas period, so I can bounce back come Boxing Day and hopefully have a better game week 19. As you can see from my game week 18 team, I had Neto in goal. They ran out 3-2 away winners to Nottingham Forest, and Neto got me a point for that. No clean sheet, obviously, so only got me to 1. Ben White got me 1, a 1-1 draw with Liverpool, but it was a tricky game. It was a risk anyway, so at least he got something. Tsimikas I had in my team, and obviously it sounds like he's broke his collarbone. I saw the collision with Klopp, which was quite humorous at the time, but obviously he's out now for a while, Tsimikas. So he is one that I've had to think about. Joachim Anderson drew his game as well against Brighton with a 1-1. Got me 2 points. Hwang Hee-chan just finished against Chelsea, 2 points, not a lot. It was a bit wasteful, to be honest, and a bit clumsy. Did have a few good chances in that game though, could have got me more, so a bit disappointing. Cole Palmer is now going to miss the Palace game along with Raheem Sterling because they both picked up another yellow. So Palmer is one that I've got to be careful with next week because he's not going to play, so he's going to have to be benched or I'm going to have to get rid. John McGinn was my captain, he got me 4. He played 90 minutes, obviously Villa struggled in that and only grabbed a draw. It was a risk. I was hoping he was going to do better than that, but it is what it is. 4 for McGinn. Kayo Saka only got me 1, but they did have Liverpool, as I said. It's a tricky game. He did pick up a yellow as well. So Darwin Nunez, I wasn't expecting a lot from. Came on as a sub. Didn't do anything again. 1 point. Ollie Watkins, disappointingly, only got me 2 against Sheffield United. Not his best game. And then my best player for this week was Dominic Solanke, who continues rich vein of form. He got a hat-trick, obviously, and I viced him. So it's a little bit aggravating I didn't captain him, but at least I viced him and got a bit. So got 17 for him, obviously hit a hat-trick, and he's on fine form. So that was the starting 11. As I said, 33 points. Flecken, who had a blank. Matty Cash, who got suspended in his game, only got 1. Kieran Trippier obviously on the losing end to Luton, which is why I benched him because I was worried about that game and I was right to be. So I made a good choice with a bench for him. And Foden had a blank as well. So I think I got the bench right again, to be honest. Just unfortunate that some of my starters couldn't do better for me. Transfers then, I had 2 free transfers because I rolled last week. Because of Tsimikas' injury with that broken collarbone, I took him out straight away. And I brought in Porro, who is someone I've been wanting for a few weeks now. I was just trying to decide on when to get him, and I've got him in now. Porro is in for Tsimikas, and then I took out Matty Cash. I wanted to get rid of Nunez, but he will be done in the wild card next week. Matty Cash, because he's been poor and he's suspended as well now, and I've put in Trent because I can't argue with his levels at the moment. I'm not the biggest fan of him defensively, but I think even that recently he's done a lot better with, and on the attacking front we know that he can offer huge numbers, and I think he's Liverpool's best player at the moment. So for me, Trent was another one that only recently in the last few games I've been thinking about bringing in. I've had him in previous seasons, but I think it took him a while to get going this year, but the last few weeks he's looked just ridiculous. With the money, because I got rid of Haaland a few weeks back, I've got more money to spread. I've not got Salah or Son, so I have the money to play with. So I've still got about 5 million in the bank, I think it is. In week 19 team then, what it's looking like, as you can see, Neto keeps his place. They've got Bournemouth are at home to Fulham, and I fancy Bournemouth for that. So Neto's going to stay in goal for me. Ben White I'm keeping in. He's got West Ham at home, and I fancy Arsenal to win that pretty convincingly. Porro is making his debut for me this season. A tricky one away to Brighton, but I still expect that they could at least grab a draw. So I'm putting Porro in. Trent is a no-brainer, again, away to Burnley, who are going to be high on confidence because they've just won their last game, but Liverpool, I think, is going to be too much quality for them, so I expect Liverpool to win, and Trent to be a massive part of that if they do. Trippier, I've brought back into the team. He is one that I'm considering getting rid of because his form has just fell off a cliff. But I fancy the fixture against Forest despite Newcastle's struggles recently. So I've put Trippier back in, but he's on thin ice at the moment. Hwang Hee-chan, it's going to be the last week he's in probably because he's going to be away at the Asia Cup. So he's probably going to be gone next week for my team. Away to Brentford. Foden was on my bench originally because I was going to play Cole Palmer. But because of his ban now, I put Palmer on the bench for his suspension. Brought Foden in, a tricky away fixture against Everton, who I actually fancy Everton for. But hopefully he can get me something. John McGinn keeps his place away to Manchester United. I feel like Villa will have the advantage on United in that. Bukayo Saka, you have to keep him in the team for me. He's not been fully at it this season, but I don't think you can take him out, really. Especially when I don't have the likes of Salah or Son at the moment, or Haaland. Saka is one of the main guys. He's my vice for this week. Watkins up front, that double up with Villa with McGinn away to Manchester United. I think Watkins could have a field day with the United defence, to be honest. And then I've gone with captaincy for Dominic Solanke after this fine performance this week with his hat-trick. But even before this week, he's been in great form. At home against Fulham, who are coming off a loss. Bournemouth are the form team and confidence is high. And he looks on it. So it's a little bit more of a risk when you captain someone like him because they're not perceived as a massive team. But his form and his consistency is amazing at the moment. So I'm going with a risk captaining him like I did last week with McGinn. But you got to take risks sometimes. And currently I've got the vice captaincy on Saka. But I'm debating whether to give it to Trent or not. But it's going to be between Saka and Trent for the vice. And then on the bench, I've gone Flecken, who's at home for Brentford against Wolves. Anderson as the first sub away to Chelsea. Darwin Nunez as the second sub. And then Cole Palmer because of his suspension in last place on the bench. So that is it for this week's team, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. What you're doing with your team. Who you're going to get in. Who you're going to let go. Or are you just going to roll your transfers? Hopefully I can have a better week for Game Week 19. Been a bit of a flat one this week in terms of last week's performance compared to this. It's been a bit disappointing, so I'm hoping for more points for Game Week 19. Have a great Christmas, guys. I'll see you soon.